that.
Oh man.
Look at that face.
Look at this guy.
Mhm.
Well,
What, that guy? You talk about Willie?
just just following orders.
Had a
So
day.
you got Willie there. I don't know if you can see, but we got Merle Haggard in the background.
Oh, nice.
What's up, fellas?
Where is he? There's Darren's beautiful face. Hold on, I think I got to swipe up. There he is. There's our guy.
There he is.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, man?
Good. Nice Coors Original. That's a good
Yeah.
day.
Oof.
Getting home from work.
I got
Coors.
tomorrow off and everything, so
Oh,
it's
wow.
proper.
Nice.
Well, here's to a good start to a day off.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Man,
what's
good to
doing?
see
It's
you guys.
been a minute.
It's too long. We did exactly what we did exactly what we said we weren't going to do.
I know.
Yeah.
But this is why we need this, because it happens this way.
Yeah. Well, you've been out traipsing the world and whatnot. Me and Darren are ready to go, but you're over in Italy feeling it out.
Dude, how was Italy? The pictures
Yeah,
you
it
posted look
looked
awesome.
ridiculous.
It was really incredible. It's a cool culture. The being out on the coast is really beautiful, and on the Adriatic Sea, and eating seafood and seeing that. But being in Rome is kind of like not overwhelming, but it's just like awe-inspiring, sort of. Going to the Pantheon, which is like over 2,000 years old, and the way they built it, um, the ceiling is like cylindrical. It's like a big dome with concrete, and they built that on what, like wood scaffolds,
That's insane.
and it's like the same height as it is width. So like a ball, if it was inflated, would fit perfectly in this dome. Um, and the walls, the concrete starts at like 20 feet thick, and then as it gets to the top of the dome, it's 5 feet thick. And
Really?
there's a big open circle at the top, and there's like a pattern on it, and it's just like incredible how they did that. And then in the front of the Pantheon is 16 pillars of marble that are one piece. They're 40 feet tall, so they're not like columns pieces that make up a column. It's like a single 40-foot long pillar, and that
But
made in
so it's not like
Egypt.
stacked stuff. It's all like,
It's a single piece of marble. There's 16 of them. They were made in Egypt and then brought to Rome.
Oh,
how can you
And
even move that?
yeah. How did they do that?
slave
When?
slaves.
You know how
But
long it would take to go that far carrying a
oh,
piece of marble that big?
it's
It's not
insane.
like they had tractor trailers like we have now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, just incredible. And then going up to the Colosseum. Colosseum is like the Eiffel Tower or something. Like you've just seen it your whole life, but it's just something you've not like seen in person, but just what it looks like, sort of. But when you like come around the corner and then you're like looking at it, and it's right in the city, um, it's just overwhelming almost. It's so cool, and the architecture, and that it's so old, like thousands of years old, and it's still somewhat um like a structure still, it's
Yeah.
it's wild. I think in history, like I feel like that moving to the East Coast, like West Coast history is so short. It's like 120
Right.
years, 200 years maybe. And then you go to the East Coast where it's like 400 or 500 years. And then you go there where it's like 2,000 years. It's just kind of wild.
Yeah, I've heard that they have like a lot of the roads are still in use, and even like stone walls,
Yeah.
like fences are still standing.
Yeah. So like it was like the way I describe it is me and Chelsea went to Disneyland with Lindsay, our friend Lindsay, who lives in Lindsay Craven. And it was the three of us, and we went to Disneyland. And then at the end, halfway through the day, Lindsay's like, let's go to California Adventure. And I was like, what's that? She's like, you don't know about that? Like, and then you go across the way and there's like a whole nother park of um like roller coasters that you didn't know about. It was just like this whole impressive thing that I didn't know about. It's the same thing with the Coliseum. Like you tour the Coliseum and you're like, that was cool. And then they're like, then you leave a different way and you walk out to like ancient Rome, where they've like excavated more and more, and it's all these old like there's a like the forum and like the houses where the Caesars lived, and it's just this expansive area that's preserved all these years. There's this like meeting place or a church or something where the door, it's a copper door that's like 10 feet tall with the lock that still works, and it's 2,000 years old.
Really?
That's wild.
So it's like
That's
you're
really
like so happy with the Coliseum, and then you leave and go see another totally impressive thing. So
gosh,
it's really
man,
cool.
that sounds really cool. And
So it
how
was a
long
really
did
good
you
trip.
guys get to go over there?
Like 9 days. It wasn't super long.
Did it feel long enough?
Yeah, like you could go back and do so much more, but it was a good trip.
Okay.
So yeah.
I've
My kid.
never been to
I know.
Italy.
I'm watching Frankie in the background.
Yeah, I think she could see herself on there. Making
Yeah. So we've
references.
never been there, and it was a really cool time.
Oh, I'm glad you got to go. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So what's been going on with you guys?
Darren, catch us
Darren, what's
up.
going on with Darren? What's going on with Dare Bear?
Just been steady working and all the normal stuff. A
Yeah.
lot of stuff. A lot of people like around getting sick and stuff, having to deal with all that stuff.
Mm.
But other than that, been trying to keep in the gym and things like that. My it's been a real like up down. I'm staying fairly regular, which is nice.
Good
That's been
man.
good, but my sleep habits is like they'll go up, then they'll go down, then they'll go up, and they'll go down. And so then I'll be strong and then I'll be not.
Yeah.
Have you talked about your sleep struggles much? Like what you deal
Probably
with?
not a lot. It's one of Melissa, it drives Melissa nuts because like I slept the first 2 nights this week, slept great. And I had a really bad week last week, but then last night didn't sleep good. Just it can never be anything consistent.
Okay.
And what is it? You just are restless?
I just wake up like some nights it's I can't go to sleep. Some nights it's I just wake up and then I'm awake.
Really?
Hmm.
Just kind of and there's no nights that I don't wake up some. Like I'll get up, go to the bathroom, maybe get a snack, go back to bed, and there'll be 3 or 4 times of that a night on average.
Oh, yeah.
Really? So
Yeah.
you're getting like getting 2 hours of sleep and then you pop up, or
Yeah.
even maybe less in between?
Yeah, it's if I get 2 solid hours, I feel that's like continuous. That's pretty good. And then I'll wake up. But the key is if I can go back to sleep or not. And so if I wake up and be, oh man, and then I'll try to go back to sleep. And I've tried to do some things for it. I find that anytime I go to the doctor for anything almost, it's like they're not even trying.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems a lot of time in, well, my observation, I haven't gone to the doctor a whole lot, but in my observation, it seems like they're so smart and they're so educated, but it almost seems like they kind of almost feel like they haven't figured out ahead of time or before they really do any research. They're like, what are your symptoms? And they kind of get they hear some typical symptoms and they feel like, okay, oh, I know what it is. It's this.
Yeah.
But maybe sometimes it seems like maybe there's more digging that could be done, case by case type of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not so good about going to the doctor because they never really do much for me.
Yeah.
So I always, if I get sick, sleep it off or do whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just keep working and working through it, depending on how bad it is. But with the sleep thing, I guess I haven't done a sleep study, haven't gone that far, but it just doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. We try and change when we eat and all kinds of stuff, but that's my big fight right now. If I could sleep good, I'd be a whole new man.
Yeah.
Do you feel like part of it's stress? Like, is your brain just going, or is it you wake up and you're not like overly focused on one thing, you're just not able to stay asleep?
It is kind of like my brain never turns off a little bit. It's always got stuff I should be getting done, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for you guys that use your brains. You gotta be a dummy like me. No problems. Sleep like a baby.
I like just I wake up and my brain is 100 miles an hour, and it's so I usually don't struggle to fall asleep, but if I wake up, sometimes it's just torture because it'll be 2 or 3 in the morning, and
And then it's on.
it's just not happening. Like I'm not gonna fall back asleep, or I'll like be up till like if I want to get up at 6:30, I'll fall asleep again at like 6. I finally fall asleep, and
Yes.
then it's just like
That's the worst. Yeah.
you wake up.
I kind of I cut alcohol out, trying that. Didn't make a difference. Tried cutting caffeine out for a little bit. That didn't really make a difference. So why give it
And you said you've even tried like monitoring the times you eat or
Yeah, we
that kind
are.
of stuff.
That is always a struggle in our house. Is we eat dinner too late.
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna. I I think one of the things that I'm gonna have to change is I also do my workout after work.
Mm,
We're into our winter hours now, so we close at 5. So like I get off work, drive home, I'm in the gym by 6 or a little before, and then I'm getting done a little faster. So we'll see if that makes a difference. But in the summer, or actually pretty much all year except for November, December, and January, or through February, March 1st, we go back to closing at 6. And
mm,
then I get off at 6. Then I'm in the gym by around 7. If you're there for an hour, you're home at 8. Then you're eating dinner at 8:30 or 9. And then you're like,
yeah,
what time you can actually go to bed? I think I might have to start trying to, as much as I hate to, I struggle to get out of bed in the morning some days
Hmm.
because I have
because you're
slept
not
bad all
sleeping.
night
Yeah,
and now I'm sleeping good.
yeah,
But if I start making myself get up in the morning, go to the gym in the morning, go do my workout, maybe there'll be some benefits if I can try that. I used to get up and run in the morning.
yeah.
It made me way more alert the rest of the day. I
Yeah.
don't recall it ever helping me with my sleep though.
Really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I was gonna ask if it maybe gave you like a good exhaustion by the end of the day, but nothing noticeable
Not
or
that I can
consistent.
remember now. I haven't been running much lately. I went the other day because Devin was in town. He's like,
Oh, nice.
Devin and Jen are like, let's go for a run. So I went up, crashed with them up on Dolly Sods, and then we got up in the morning, had breakfast. Melissa went on into work, and I was like, have fun. Which is it's not I don't get to do that to her very often. So I was gonna get a hang back because I had the day off, and we went up on Sods, put in 9 miles, and I was like, I'll feel that the next day for sure.
So did you notice after that, like, did you sleep good that night?
Um, I actually had slept decent the night before, and usually if I sleep good one night, I'll get 1 to 2 nights a decent sleep. That third one's probably not going to go well.
Mm,
Just kind of the MO.
As far as sleep, I have had different times where I didn't sleep good, and I think a lot of it can be traced back to when I'm not handling my anxiety well.
yeah.
I think and then another thing which Jess has helped point out a lot of things to me, like what I was eating and drinking. Like I've always said like, oh, I can drink a coffee right now and go to bed right now. And she's like, yeah, but you're not sleeping good. So
Yeah.
I think, I would just do foolish things and
Yeah.
almost test myself. Like, watch, I'm gonna smash this rock star right now and then go to bed. And then, so I've actually stopped drinking any energy drinks at all. It's been a few months even. And so that's good. I'm not drinking coffee in the afternoon anymore, and I think that helps. She has me on a handful of just like supplements. A lot of it is electrolyte, getting the electrolytes that I'm supposed to have,
Mhm.
just so my body's actually replenishing and healing. And the other stuff, I don't even know what she has me on, but it seems to be working. I don't get restless legs anymore, and I go to sleep faster. But the other thing, she pointed out that I'll sit on my phone, and I think I've talked to you guys about it too. I'll just scroll and watch. I'm so into watching linemen, offensive and defensive linemen. I'll just watch it all day. And then I'm sending it to my other buddies, and they're probably like, why is my phone blowing up with Instagram lineman reels right now?
Oh, that's
At
hilarious.
1:30 in the morning.
Funny.
So when I'm better about just actually putting the phone down, when I'm more conscious about it, I sleep better for sure. But
Yeah.
then like I've been in the bad habit last couple weeks, I kind of fell off and I'm like, so but that's noticeable. That's pretty that's pretty noticeable.
I've had bouts of that myself. Just a little bit of doom scrolling when I get to bed. Get some like I've tried to find some story that somebody's telling or something, and then while I like wait on Melissa, because I always tell her it's like if I go to sleep and like I've been out for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then she crawls in bed and wakes me up.
Then
That's
you're
just
up.
like taking a nap. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be bad shape now.
Yeah. It's like a little power nap and then you're not going back to sleep. So
Yeah.
you'll try and wait till she gets in and settled in before you even shut her down.
Yeah, unless it's like I'm wiped out, and I like if she's gonna be like an hour, I'll I'll go. I'll get deep. Maybe I'll be deep enough sleep in that I won't notice when she comes to bed. But if she comes to bed like after like 5 to 10 minutes, it's guaranteeing she's waking me up.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna be like, well, I guess I should just go find something to do.
It's funny.
And does she typically run later hours than you?
We're similar.
Okay.
We're real similar. So we just during the work week, I've been trying to go to bed early as an effort to work on this. So she has too, because she doesn't sleep awesome, but she sleeps way better than me. Like she had a bad night last night. I guess we both kind of had a bad night, but she had a little worse one than me for a change.
Oh no.
And we got up this morning, and I'm like, I gotta go to work. I was like, hey, we got our little morning routine. I was like, hey, you coming? Or she's like, I was like, never mind, you stay
Oh.
here. But she was late for work today.
Sleep is
Oh,
tough because it just affects so much. It's like
yes.
trying to figure out what affects your sleep, but then your sleep affects everything that you do, sort
Yeah.
of. But it is hard. What we talked about tonight with like our family study was like how we like start our days. Because I'll start my day like I'll wake up at 4 or I'll wake up at 5 because we go to bed early, and then it's dark, and I'm not gonna like get up and make coffee and you know make a ruckus. So I'm just in bed. So it's like, what are like the first things I go to in the morning with my phone? It's like I'm like my goal this next week is like when I wake up to do the text first. Because if I wake up and do Instagram or Twitter at like 5 o'clock in the morning, it's like it can be a long time where I'm just looking at news and minutia.
Yeah.
So trying to get your brain started in like a good step before anything else is like what I'm trying to like figure out and work on. So
Yeah. Jesse's even has me working on just seeing daylight, just actual daylight or natural light before the screen light,
oh
which sometimes is hard because my phone's my alarm, my emails and my calendar, my route, everything's on the phone. But if I can make a conscious effort, I think that helps too. But I think a
yeah.
lot of it has helped me um managing anxiety. I think I'm not as stressed or as mean as I was a year ago, a year and a half ago. I was not very pleasant. I think I'm a nicer guy. Seems to
Like
be seems to
that
be helping.
that's like in the morning, I just I'm out of bed, shut the alarm off on my phone, and go get my clothes, go downstairs. If I have like vitamins to take, we've just changed our routine a little bit now. Before I get out of bed, it's like we got some reading to do, so we do our Bible reading, and then we're just like then I'm out the house. I literally fall into my clothes, grab my stuff, and then out the door straight to work. Like I try not, I don't mess around. I'm out of the house.
Yeah.
That's good.
And it seems
That's
to
good.
be because that way I'm literally outside, and then when I get to work, I pour my first cup of coffee and sit down, And that's when I got a not. That's when my phone will be like, Darren.
Yeah. But at least you had that little. And so, how long would you say, like, the wake up routine all the way until you're at the shop? How long do you think?
It's probably takes me about 10 minutes to 15 minutes to get to the shop. About 10
Okay.
minutes. It's about 6 miles.
Uh, I might start crying right now.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking
I
like
heard you dude your day.
LA, LA
Like
commutes. Like,
I feel like John's
it took me 2 hours to go 19 miles yesterday.
okay.
Oh,
I
dude.
want to
It's horrible.
I want to ask about that really quick because
All
I
right.
listen to like podcasts or something, and they'll be like people in LA, and they're just like in that area, and they're like talking about being 19, 20 miles from something and it taking 2 hours. Like
Yeah.
it's just traffic all the time. Like
It's
it's
just
just
that it's just that many people. And it's significantly worse in Los Angeles County. Like where we live is right on the border. We're actually in LA County, Long Beaches, but we're like a quarter of a mile from the Orange County line, day and night. As soon as you cross that line,
oh,
day
that's
and night.
weird.
It's getting to where, I mean, there's so many people down here now, but it's getting to where Orange County has proper rush hours, so during rush hour it's heavy, but it's rush hour, so you
Yeah.
got your 7 to 9 in the morning, it's going to be sticky, and then 4 to 6 in the evening, it's going to be sticky. But other than that, you can move around. But LA County is always bad all the time. I have no use for Los Angeles.
Yeah,
I
that's
really don't.
I I don't cope good with like that's just not what I'm used to. West
Yeah,
Virginia, like it's 6 miles to the shop. I'm gonna go through one stoplight on my way. That's it. And
Yeah.
yeah,
then
that's
I jump
awesome.
out on 220, it's 55 miles an hour, and I'll be going 55 miles an hour.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I would just, I can't remember who asked us. Somebody had just asked us if we miss anything from home, what do we miss? Because we're coming up on, I think we're at 11 and a half years down here. So Brody has now lived down here a couple years longer than she was at home. And Francis doesn't even, Francis was born down here.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think as of this anniversary, we will have lived half our marriage down here now, which is kind of wild. So someone was asking us, what do you miss? And family and friends, of course. I think we've come to realize, which not a surprise, but there's no replacing history,
Yeah.
and that you have with people and roots. And you can
Nothing like
add
old
friendships,
friends.
which we have been pleasantly surprised to have made some of our very, very best friends down here. But at the same time, you don't replace history and roots. So family and friends for sure, but I miss country roads.
Mm.
I miss open space and country roads. And so when we go home, I think the last time we were home for a couple of my nephews got married right in a row, and we stayed off the five the entire time. We didn't ever. We
That's
were on
good.
the nine, and then we went back. We went to Andrew and Alicia Hutchison's place one day.
Oh
We
yeah.
went from Arlington, started in Arlington at my dad's place, and we stayed on back roads all the way back
That's
there.
cool.
And man, stayed off the interstate, and it was wonderful.
That's cool.
We saw them this summer. It was nice. It's really good.
Yeah,
Love them.
yeah,
Um,
easy to love. Those are
yeah.
good people.
Yeah. Well, what are we I think we started this I looked it up, it's like January, middle of January last year.
Yeah,
So are you 48 yet?
well, I'm getting there, getting closer every day.
How are you?
I'll be 48 January 8th.
All right. So where are you at with uh
1,000 pound
your
club.
well,
£1,000 club goal?
close-ish. In July, I had reported hard numbers. I was at 970. I think I was actually even closer, because whenever I did hit those PRs, it was at the end of workouts, and I just felt pretty good, so I went for more. So that tally came from, I figure I was actually probably closer to 985, 15 pounds away.
Man.
And then I started falling apart. I don't, and so
Like, wait, mentally, physically, like what?
no, physically,
Oh,
I
okay.
have never had knee trouble in my life. And
Mm.
now I have bum knees where I walk around like an old man. I got these terrible knees now. And I think it is because of the powerlifting, but it was what everybody warned me about, and I wasn't listening, is don't go bananas all the time. And I think I put too much stress on a lot of my joints. So it was going back and forth between my back and my knees, back and knees. And now my back is good, solid, but my knees are a problem. So I have not lifted heavy since end of August.
Okay.
And I was really, really sad. I came to a realization in September where I was running out of clock and looking at it like, I am not gonna hit it. And it didn't, that concept hadn't even crossed my mind when I started it. And I have one good friend, Paulie Leon, and he told me when I very first started, he goes, I am 100% behind you. I think you can do it. I think you will do it. But just in case something happens, don't fall off and don't get discouraged. And I was like, well, I didn't know if he really was behind me. I thought, I don't know if you really do believe in me. But he was wise enough to know things happen. And so his thought at the time was you're doing better now once you've embarked on the journey than before. So you got to look at it as just bettering yourself. And so now, as cliche as it sounds, I'm just doing it one day at a time. And when my knees feel good, I go out there and I put a little more weight on. And when my back feels good, I put a little more weight on. But if I don't, I just got to be, some days it's just 155 pounds
Yeah.
on my shoulders. And it's just, I just gotta move a little bit. I think I did finally break through and start leaning up a little bit. I think again, that's chest helping me uh, with what I'm taking in. I will make jokes sometimes that I have a hostess problem. And that's legitimate. So I cut back on a lot of that. I still eat. I love ice cream for some reason. That is still a problem for me.
I think it's just because it's good.
It's
Yeah,
just
because it's just so
delicious. So.
good. But I've cut out a lot of beer. I just don't buy it because if I got those banquets in the house, then I'll drink them all. So I just don't buy them as much, and I feel like I'm doing better as far as that. Uh, trying to, I don't eat enough protein, which I always thought of myself like, oh, I'm a meat eater. Of course I'm eating, but when we looked at it, I'm not eating actually nearly enough.
That
So
is
I
a
think
real struggle, actually. That's
it
hard. It's
really,
hard to get enough.
it's so hard. And they say like a lot of, unless you're lifting hard trying to build, you don't need as much protein as a lot of the coaches will tell you, but you should be getting, as much, what is it, as much as your body weight or something like that
A
in
gram
grams.
per pound.
Yes. And that's super hard.
It's
If you're not
shockingly
doing
hard.
shakes or like, and I kind of set out when I wanted to do, I just wanted to do, I didn't want to be supplementing a whole bunch of shakes. I didn't want to, I just wanted to prove to myself that you can do it as a regular guy, just with a little of attention and consistency, but it's hard.
Yeah.
But it makes a difference. I actually see a difference when I make the effort to get my proper protein intake.
And then
Um,
what are you doing for protein? Just meat or like other stuff too?
mostly just meat. Yep. Yep. Just me. I still haven't started in on those shakes. I got a lot of people. Everyone always likes to tell me what shakes I should get and what I should do. And
Man,
I,
I just pick one that you don't hate the taste of.
yeah, one that you don't hate the taste of.
Yeah,
She does have some shakes that she'll send me for breakfast. So I have conceded to that, and it's good. I don't hate the taste of them.
Yeah.
that's good. Because a lot of
So
times, if you get like something, she's probably like putting that in a blender and putting other stuff with it too, probably.
yeah. something like that. But she's real big on trying to keep everything real clean for me. So I appreciate
good.
that. Otherwise, I'd just eat trash, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Right.
as far as the goal, I had a whole concession speech recorded. I did. And I didn't pull the trigger on it, but I felt like I was being dishonest, you know. I
That's
don't even think
funny.
anyone's keeping track anymore but me, but I was like lying to myself over here. But then I went out and I deadlifted the other day and I pulled 345 and it wasn't bad. And I thought, oh man, if I can just, I got a month and a half to put 20 pounds on that. And if I can get 365, I hit it and I'm going to count it. So I'm, I'm rejuvenated. I want to pull 365 by the end of the year. And then, and I'm gonna chalk it up because, uh, I think I was real close to putting 300 pounds on the bench. The cleanest I did was 290. I did 290 a couple times, different times, and it was clean. And I felt like I think I got more in there. So I was really close to 300 pounds, but I never actually racked it.
Okay.
Failed 295 really close. But again, it was at the end of a workout, and I thought, man, if I didn't pyramid all the way up and burn everything, I think it was there. And I squatted 345, which I was happy with. I thought I'd get 350, but I haven't tested that out again. But 345 was pretty clean. I almost actually took my mailman out one day. I was squatting and I don't have like a safety rack, so I always thought like, well, if I start to lose it, I gotta make sure I can kick out and kick it backwards. So I finally hit that point where I got one and I was like, oh gosh, it's not going up. So I kicked it backwards. The the mailman was coming behind me. I was like, oh, I almost took my boy out.
Okay.
Top 300 40, 50 pounds off
Yes.
the guy.
Man.
That's awesome.
Like, oh man, do you want me to sign for that? Gosh, poor guy, but he was pretty agile. He got out of the way.
So you're
But
you're right there still. You're not like
I'm
it's
I'm real close. I'm real close. And if I don't get it by December 31st, I'm just gonna keep going until I get it. I'm not gonna, but then I think once I hit 1,000 pounds, which for a lot of people, it really is not that much weight. A lot of people can do that, move that kind of stuff, I think. But for me, um,
I don't think it's as many people as you think.
yeah, I think
yeah,
like maybe your friends in Marysville.
yeah.
Like I was listening to a podcast and they said if you guys had to guess the number of people that can bench 225 just one time, percentage of the entire world, what do you think it
Oh,
would be?
Oh, it's probably like 1%.
I think so. I'd say probably like 10-15%.
It's less than one.
Yeah.
Less than 1%.
It's less than one.
Well,
It's less than 1%. It's like 0.0 something.
really?
It's
It's not a real pretty number that can bench 225 just one time. Because you got to remember that's the whole world. Like,
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people not crawling underneath weights and pushing around.
yeah, that includes like elderly people. That includes like women and children. And I'm not saying there's not women out there that bench 225 once. There's just not a lot of them.
Yeah.
But it's funny. So so the numbers you're pulling, and everybody's built a little different. As I was
Yeah.
listening to the numbers you were just saying, and I was like your bench is high, your squats high, your deadlifts awesome. It's weird how different people have different strengths. I don't deadlift, but I was at a buddy's house
Mhm.
like a couple weeks ago, and they just piled. He had one of those stand between bars, and I've never really got to use one. And he put every weight he had on there. Guys are drinking beer, and like, let's see if we can do this.
That's my kind of party.
Yeah. So that 365 or 65, 360, I think is what was on it. And I grabbed it and boop.
And you don't
And I was
even
like,
deadlift.
oh, okay. That wasn't that bad.
Oh,
And I
man.
dropped it. But like I've never put 340 on my back squatting. Like I work out with like my last set this week was 280.
That's good weight though.
285 actually.
That's good weight.
But that's still like those numbers, like I have never in my life squatted as where you were.
No, I'm not even close.
If you're at 285 though, you're real close. Like when if you can get a few reps out of 285,
I can
you're right.
get 5.
You're right. Yeah, you're right in there then.
Yeah, I
So
never
it's
really.
just not
I'm always real careful with squats because I'm
yeah,
getting old.
yeah,
But I work my way up. Like start with 225.
yeah,
225 used to be heavy, and that's kind of fun weight now.
yeah,
I still don't do a ton of reps with it, but then I just start. Then I start jumping up, and then my last set this week. Last week it was I ended at 275, and I was like, I think I could do 280. I just want to do one rep and hang it up. Did one rep for fun. It was easy, not easy. It felt like
but
heavy,
wasn't scary though.
but yeah, I could have done another one, but I just still
Yeah,
hung it up because I was like, that's the first thing I do when I'm doing legs. Get my squats done so I don't have to think about it again.
yeah.
But then this week I was like, I'm gonna do a set with 280 and got 5.
Nice.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So it's getting there. But that's about as good as I've ever done in my entire life.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I think
I'm not half as I'm way older than I used to be when I tried that stuff.
But there's also part of you not to like uh if we were talking about this, if we knew that 20 years ago in our 40s that we were still talking about even lifting weights
yeah,
and being healthy enough to lift weights and work and like not being super idle,
yeah,
we'd be pretty happy with that.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Like thinking about it, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, you know, I remember what it's like to live when I was young and all that stuff. And you don't always have those same goals. It's different now.
Mhm.
And because of it, like the running and like doing trail running and stuff, and then lifting and doing all this stuff, like I feel better and I am much happier.
Yes. Yeah,
I
I am too.
enjoy my life more.
I do too. Yeah, even if it's like part of it's like maybe little senses of little feelings of accomplishment, or just doing something that you can kind of be proud of. And then of course I think the chemical, the endorphin and the adrenaline that the shots that you get, I think are super important. Um, I have learned, the whole journey of it all. I learned a lot about myself that I hadn't expected. I really thought it was going to be a physical shot in the arm to get me going, exercising again. And a lot of it, what I've learned about myself is just making myself accountable, realizing how much kind of a quitter attitude that I have had historically. And I would have never guessed it. If somebody would have asked me, do you feel like you're a little bit of a quitter sometimes? No way. I always gotta tell, well, no, I'll die doing this. But really, I have been kind of a quitter. Like I'd get going consistent for a couple weeks and then have a day where I was like, I don't want to. And then, but it just is that one day and it will break my routine. And then all of a sudden, then you think about like, oh man, I haven't lifted for 2 weeks and now I got to think about crawling underneath 285. Like,
Mm.
oh, wait, and then just shelf it. And so that kind of stuff to realize and look that in the eye and realize that's what I have always done. When we had Kevin Reyes on when he was with us, and
Yeah.
he's like, okay, Sean, first question is, why haven't you ever done it before? Yeah, like, well, now I know. I think because I've been kind of a quitter. I just would do enough to maybe fuel my ego a little bit or have like a short-term goal. But to have a little bit of a longer term goal and something I had to put some work and some dedication into taught me a lot about myself. And like, well, and then even talking with you guys, a couple times through it, like having realistic expectations and like I said, about talking with my buddy Paul. And then now how I'm actually okay with if I don't hit 1,000 pounds, by the initially planned out time, I'm okay because I'm still gonna go, and I'm healthier now than I was a year
Mhm.
ago when I started. And the idea of continuing to be healthier, like you said, it helps you be happier. I'm like, I can be it's funny, a lot of folks at the hall will say that I'm a real like a nice guy. And my girls are always funny. They're in the background. I was like, huh, what? And like, because they unfortunately see the mean side of me, like the people who are closest to you. Um, but I think I'm nicer now. I think they maybe don't grimace as hard or as quickly when people
You're
say
starting
that.
to set up the new
Yeah,
norm.
There's
I
like
think so.
I've
That's
known the
cool.
Sean on the football field in the 90s.
Yeah.
I've known I've known the Sean
Not
at a
always
bar.
nice.
I've known the Sean at a bar in the early 2000s.
Oh, geez.
And then I know the Sean now.
I'm nicer
Speaking,
now, huh?
that made me think the Steelers Browns game was on in the corner with no sound. I just look over and there's Russell Wilson and snow blowing in his face. I was like, "Ooh, it's gonna be
Ooh.
that kind of day."
Oh man. Hey, Russ is making a comeback though. He's giving it his best.
Yeah, he actually has been surprisingly decent. Not
Yeah.
the Steelers are winning football games somehow.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that your team, Darren? The Steelers?
Oh, I'm all over the map. I tend to pull for teams that have West Virginia players on their team,
Okay.
but also like I grew up an hour and a half south of Pittsburgh in West Virginia still, but
Oh, okay.
like so I don't hate on them.
Yeah.
So I just have a quick question, kind of related. Is Melissa Washington fan?
Uh ish.
Ish.
Yeah.
And I just asked because when you guys were doing the other pod, and you had, was it Cat? And he was having a hard time. There was something said about the Commanders, and she made a distinct, to me, it seemed distinct. She's called them the Redskins, I think twice. She wasn't acknowledging Commanders. She said the Redskins two times.
Redskins.
So I thought, well, that
Redskins.
kind of sounded like that's her team.
Yeah. So
So I
living
thought,
on this side of the mountain, and she kind of actually she grew up in the south, the southern part of West Virginia, and like uh you could go either way down there, but like one of her best friends was a Redskins fan, so she kind of pulled for them. So she's always kind of been them over anyone else.
okay. Yeah, I didn't know if that was if I was reading into something, but I felt like I kind of picked up on that.
No, and living in this area for the last 20 years has really made it more. So she does hear all the things people say, and
Yeah.
no one super loves the name of the Commanders in the
Commanders,
area.
yeah.
I'm grappling with this right now. But still, like, you grew up somewhere and you're a big sports fan, and then you move away from there, and that team doesn't try.
Mm.
How long do you like stick with that team? Because it's
Uh,
like, for me, it's the Mariners.
yeah.
They they make they're like one of the richest teams in baseball. They don't do anything with that money,
No.
and then they give away players.
Oh, we've had some of the best to ever play the game come through.
Right. And then, they miss the playoffs for 20 years, and then they make the playoffs, and they mismanage everything after that one playoff run. And
Mhm,
now I'm almost 10 years removed from Seattle.
mhm.
I'm not going to be a Yankees fan, but like,
Thank God.
what allegiance? Yeah, never. But like, what allegiance do I have
I don't
to
know.
this team that I don't live there anymore? And want to, they don't like, they're not trying to keep me. Why am I keeping
Right.
them?
I feel that. Uh,
Actually, I like that. That makes sense to me.
But
yeah.
it's like, I'm not like, who else am I going to root for? And then it's like,
Yeah.
like, I root for the Knicks now because the Sonics left.
Yeah.
There isn't a Sonic. If there was
Yeah.
still a
There's no
Sonic,
disloyalty. There's no turning your back.
yeah, but they turned their back on like Seattle,
Yeah.
or the management did. But it's like,
That's legit.
when you watch that happen so many times, you're like, why am I tied to this team that if they, like, I have a good friend who's an Oakland A's fan, and they're leaving and they're going to Vegas. And it's like your
that's
team
the
could just
city's
up and leave.
mismanagement.
Your team could
The
just up
city
and
ran
leave.
them out of there.
But it's like, um, what dedication do I have to this thing that doesn't have any
Yeah.
loyalty to, so it's just kind of
True. Well, it's so funny to me because when you look at like a team like the Redskins, I got a good friend, Corey. He is diehard DC sports. He lives in Maryland, so he's not that far away. He's pretty close to there. And being a Redskins fan for so long was not fun because they were so Dan Snyder was just trying to run that franchise in the ground. And they've just continued to make stupid decisions. And you see these teams that have a lot of money, like the Cowboys, who are really terrible this year. They've thrown a bunch of money at it, but they just made bad choices.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's the front office that's the problem. And when those
But you
changes
see them
get
trying,
made,
like the Cowboys will make moves.
yeah, the Cowboys make moves, they throw money at stuff, but they just don't make good moves.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, they're bad. They're really, really bad this year. Um, but you look at like with the Commanders or Redskins or whatever, like they're under complete, like the league kicked Dan Snyder out. So this is the second year under the new management. A group of people, like some sports group, bought them.
Oh, okay.
It was a very, you can't buy a football team super insane amount of money, like $1 billion or something. But under the new management, they're relevant this year. I mean,
Yeah,
like
that fast.
2 years, they're like, oh, the young quarterback we just drafted, he's playing good ball. We're winning football games. Our defense isn't as terrible. All of a sudden, like they have the one receiver. He's been Scary Terry. He's been consistent. It doesn't matter who's under center. He's been that guy. But they just can't win football games. But now they're like winning football games. They're I think, are they leading it's them or the Eagles? They're right there neck and neck to hit the conference, and they're doing this with a rookie quarterback.
Mm.
So it's just funny to me. Sometimes it's the ownership that's the problem, the management, the front office that can be the problem, and like I hate when I see poorly run teams like that. To see the Mariners be like one of the wealthiest teams, they could do it, and give your fans something, man.
Well, it's
That's
not
the
just
thing.
money.
The
It's
Mariners
like
have a strong fan base too. People
they have
always
a
show.
super loyal fan base and they've got a ton of money, but there is this is where like the GM is important because it's like you can have money, you have to be willing to spend it, but also you have to spend it in the right way. So
Yeah.
there's putting the right people in place. It just feels like they don't even try to put the right people in place.
It really doesn't.
It's just not well managed, and but it's always been like that. So then it's like, um,
You just gotta
if you
stop being business as usual. If you
yeah
go 20 years without making the playoffs, okay, time to clean house. Because
Right.
these guys, it's not the players that haven't got you there. It's like because you didn't get the right players in those positions.
yeah
Succeed. There's something wrong there. So you clean house and you get new people.
Yeah.
Go out there headhunting. Find those people that can make you win.
Yeah.
Look at the Lions, dude. When they got that head coach,
Yeah. All of a sudden, day and night.
day and night. I
this is
mean,
the conversation I was trying to have with Cap, but he had an electrical storm.
The poor
It
guy.
was a mess.
dude, I
felt
love
bad
seeing the
for
Lions
him.
be this good.
Oh man, it's funny. Well, I think we should do one more this year because I wanted to talk about our goals for next year.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna try to do another half marathon. I went from
Yeah, attaboy.
not wanting to, or not saying like I just have no reason to, I'm not going to then being like I don't really want to now being like I do want to do another one.
Nice.
Maybe get
It's-
Darren up to wherever that is.
Yeah, I'll come run one with you.
Yeah,
So
man.
maybe we could talk about
Maybe we should pick one in the middle of the country and all three go.
oh, there you go. Sean, you want to run?
These old knees of mine. No, I think that might be something I could look into.
All right. Well,
Cool.
let's maybe we do one before the end of the year and post posted about like what we're gonna do next year,
Okay.
what our
Sounds good.
plans are, because I want to
Yeah.
run. We're gonna do. I usually do like a month off of processed foods and drinking and everything in the fall, but we're doing it right at the beginning of the year in January, me and Chelsea. And then I also want to start training for a half in January also. So running, diet, like cutting out a bunch of stuff, trying to drop pounds this year, and then being consistent with running even after. So
I kind
after
of want to
this,
talk to you also about how you're balancing your schedule, because I know you got some cool things added to your schedule. So if we can work that in a little bit too, I'm kind of
yeah,
excited to
I
talk to you
yeah,
about that. Like you got a lot going on. You got a lot going
I
on.
do. Yeah, it's the Ramapo part is not hasn't been hard.
No.
It's the because we've always had a schedule where we didn't work full time.
Okay.
It's almost easier with Ramapo because for pioneering, it's like kind of where your hours are coming from.
Oh, okay.
It's more just work escalating in a way that I've never probably had it happen before. Um, so just trying to manage that. Maybe
I will say I did. This is something that has helped me. I think I talked to you guys in the past for my mental well-being about getting in the ocean. I
oh
made
yeah,
a point the last couple months. I made a point to get in the water a little more, and I wasn't wrong. It makes a big difference. It makes
that's
a big
cool.
difference. And I finally actually most of it's been crummy conditions too. Like it would go, we'd have like 2 solid weeks of good surf, and I wouldn't have any chance to get out. And then I'd get one day, and I'd get like one day out of 2 weeks that was bad. And that was the day I went out. But even just getting my feet wet was good for me. And then last weekend I finally scored a day that was really fun. I got a bunch of waves. I'm not a very good surfer, but there was nobody in the lineup, and super fun. And I was smiled about that for probably 4 or 5 days.
That's cool.
That's
So are
awesome.
you come January? Is your meeting not in the morning anymore?
No, I have had no reason. We've been at 12:30 on Sunday.
Oh,
So we're gonna go to 9:30.
okay.
Which in the past I've been fine doing anyways, but so we'll see. I'm just trying to close the year out strong. I got something pretty cool. So we saw Sturgill. I don't think we
Right.
ever did.
Oh, we
I
didn't
don't
talk
think
about
we actually
Sturgill.
ever talked about that, but that might be too much to even crack
Dude,
into right
Sturgill
now.
just played in West Virginia.
He's
In
all
West
of a
Virginia.
sudden he took like 4 years off, and then he's just all over the place now. Yeah.
Okay.
But I was like,
Okay.
oh
Oh,
gosh.
that'd be a cool place to see him too.
Yeah, in West
Huh.
Virginia,
Just
get the old
Heartland.
country folk in there. Heck
Oh
yeah,
man.
Have you listened to his new album much?
Yeah.
I
The,
haven't.
Jo- the Johnny Blue Skies.
I listened to it twice today.
Okay. Oh, it's
Um,
it's
it's
so good.
just like I love it a lot.
You too. You know what I think my favorite song
Which
is
one?
that Scooter Blues.
I
I
like it,
love
but I
I
think
love that song.
Jupiter's Fairy is so
Um,
kind of like sad, but it's so
yeah,
a
there's a lot
lot.
of emotion. There's a couple, 3, 4 songs that are super emotional,
Even the
and
last song, One for the Road, it's like it's I can't figure out if he's talking about himself or if he's writing songs from like a third person or something.
I can't remember. I'll have to look that one up. I can't remember off
It's
the
the
top of my
last
head.
song, but he's just the way he's talking about stuff. I don't know. It's yeah, it's kind of like a heavy album, but it's so good.
It's
I
so
just
good.
love it.
I'm gonna have to listen to it now. I really haven't listened to the new one.
Oh, you're gonna love
I'll
it.
text it to you right after
Because
this.
it's, I mean,
Okay.
it's again, it's its own genre. He
Yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't fall into, you know, he
yeah.
does not fit into any box. Is the coolest thing.
So should we all pick a song? At least one?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's do some
Yeah, we
songs.
gotta at least you gotta at
Okay.
least pick
Here was my
one.
thought. I wanted to do like just straight punk songs, but then I
Oh,
started thinking about I listened to Sturgill and Zach Bryan all day. So then I was like, do I do country songs? I'm just gonna let it flow how it feels. So one of you guys start.
uh, what if I go right in the middle? What if I do Mike Ness?
Okay.
Ooh,
What's the one?
I like
Uh,
Mike.
Aren't you glad there ain't nobody listening? I don't know if that's what the title is.
Let me see.
Doggone it.
If you leave before me.
If you leave before me. Yeah, if you leave before
Before
me.
me.
I think that's the one. So I'm just gonna go with that.
Just one. If You Leave Before Me by Mike Ness.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. What about you, Darren? What song are you gonna, or songs or whatever?
I'm gonna go with In Between by Will Dorado, but the one with Ken Pomeroy, the alternate version, because it's so much better.
All
I,
right.
I like the original one
I'm
good.
gonna look that one up.
They re-recorded it and added some steel guitar, and this girl Ken Pomeroy that kind of she does the second verse, and then having them sing together so much better. But that song, I love that song. And
All right.
just so we do throw something punk rock on here, I don't know why. Like I've been on a old stuff kick. Like you remember Melancholy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's put Bouillon on there.
All right. That sounds good. All right. I'll do a Sturgill song or Johnny Blue Skies song. I'll do
Johnny.
I'm gonna do Mint Tea, but then punk song. I'm gonna do Goldfinger Superman. I like that song a lot.
Go figure. That's cool.
Okay.
That's so
Yeah.
funny. I haven't heard anything like they just came up on my playlist the other day. Have you heard their 99 Red Balloons?
Yeah.
Their cover of that 80s
They did
song?
that cover album like forever ago.
Yeah, I was like, that's so crazy.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, this is fun.
This
We
was
gotta
fun.
we gotta do it more often. I'm gonna cut the part where I
Yeah.
said we're gonna do it in 2 weeks, but
Just
we
let it
should
roll.
we
I
should
Let it
will,
stick
roll.
to
I
something
will
soon.
absolutely make myself available.
All right, I will too.
Me too. If you give me a date, I'll actually block it out on the schedule. You did give me a date this time, and
Life happens,
I
man.
still was late.
It's
But
so hard with life. That's why
thank you guys for waiting for me, though.
part of the thing about doing these pods is that we need them sometimes to like
Yeah.
chat and catch up, but everything in the world tries to get in the way sometimes. So,
Like I literally had a pretty crappy day today dealing with ignorant people at work that are just morons. And I'm in so much better mood now.
oh,
Oh, good.
I thought you were gonna say like, and then I talked to you guys and it just kept going.
No, I'm in a better mood now.
Oh, that's good.
One other thing, we can do it briefly, but I want to talk to you guys about work boots. What work boots you wear? If you have favorites, what's good, what's not. I got a lot to say about it.
So I currently have my last two pairs have both been Irish setters.
Okay.
They fit me good. They wear good. I've tried a few. Um, as far as like straight up work boots, they're good bang for your buck because they're like a mid-length, a little over mid-length, but they're not like a 9-inch logger.
Okay.
I think I think
By 6 inches. And are you doing like a mock toe? Or are you doing like a chucker? Or what are you doing?
it is I want to say it's a tracker.
Okay.
I have man, I just got myself a pair of boots I'm breaking in right now. Just got a pair of Red Wings those Iron Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
Super love those.
A lot of motorcycle guys wear those Iron Rangers.
So that's I just got a new bike.
Did
And you're a and he's a motorcycle guy.
That's what it is.
I just got a Triumph. So I'm
Oh,
selling my
nice.
Harley and I'm gonna roll on the Triumph for a while.
Nice.
Nice.
I love that little Triumph. It's a street
Yeah.
track. So it's got like knobby tires so I can go off-road a little better. And got a little better suspension, and it's also like a lot newer than my Harley.
So you love it?
I do.
That's
I
cool.
do.
Good. I got a buddy, Jake, you probably know Zach Llewellyn.
Oh yeah.
Zachary's been wearing Iron Rangers for like
Hmm.
20 years. It might be the same pair that he's at. He just resoles them.
I've been wanting to have Zach on the pod talking about Brethren and his company and all that too.
He's fun to have
I
on.
love
Should we
Zach,
bring
man. I
him
miss
on?
Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach,
that'd be cool.
we have a lot of history.
Maybe
Zach,
we should get Zach on the pod with us.
let's have him on. Okay.
He'd fit in nice.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah. Mellow, good beard.
Yeah. I'm on my second pair in a row of Carhartt. I don't like boots.
Oh.
I don't like wearing boots. I
Okay.
only wear boots when I have to wear boots. Like,
Do you do Vans? Would you rather wear Vans?
uh, it's Chelsea's laughing. It's like it was Sambas always, and
Oh,
then also I'll just wear Crocs. I'll wear my my canvas Crocs.
to the job for real?
It's just me, and I'm working in houses. Like
Okay.
I'm mostly working in lived-in houses, so I can't wear boots or anything that's gonna like be abrasive. So I'll just wear like Crocs or like tennis shoes.
I've been
And like,
wearing Adidas Sambas since I was in junior high. I
oh
still
yeah,
wear a pair.
I've always had Sambas, and like I wear them until something gets on them or messes them up, and then I just wear them to work, and then I'll
Yeah.
just wear them to work until they fall apart. But I'd much rather wear just like a low cut shoe, especially like trimming houses. That's the best. And then with Crocs, like when we were with Devin this summer, like he wears Crocs a lot. And then you're like so dumb, but then they're so comfy and they're just easy
Are
to
they
slip
really?
on and slip off.
His
And you're
aren't
gonna
even
have to
like
tear off.
regular Crocs. They're like fancy Crocs. They're
I
like
know.
leather and
I don't wear the leather fancy ones, but just like they're just easy. And I don't like anything bulky or restrictive. So
Okay.
I'm not a big boot guy, but I'm on my second pair of Carhartt boots, and they're not like steel toe or anything, and they're not like super high, and they work for like when we were on the roof last year in Florida for 4 months, like they were great.
Good
And
track.
yeah,
Because a lot of guys on roofs, a lot of guys will wear tennis shoes on roofs.
tennis shoes
oh
are
yeah.
better, but when you're doing like a like project like that, you have to kind of stick to certain um,
Call.
protocol. So, but
I've never had a pair of like mock toe work boots, but I've always kind of wanted to because I like the look of them. But
Well,
I have
setters,
never
there's
just
some
tried
setters
them.
make some nice mocktails.
Who does?
Those Irish setters do.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Because they're a branch of Red Wing too, aren't they?
yeah.
Yeah.
They Red Wing bought them.
Yeah.
mhm.
I've been in mock toes for the last several years, and I went through two different Red Wings. I did the 911s, which are more, I think there's more of a look for those ones. Those were not very comfortable and they
Mhm.
didn't wear well. But then I did the 875s, which is just kind of like the classic Red Wing. And I've resold those ones. This will be the second time, but I'm blowing through the toe on them. Then now I switched to there's a brand called Tacova, and they make a Western boot,
Uh-huh.
but it's a pull on. But they have that same wedge sole. And those Tacovas were really comfortable, and those pulled me out of Red Wings. They crossed me over. So
Really?
I gotta resole them right now because I wore them down. But as soon as I got a new sole on them, I'm going back to the Tacovas.
Here's a very specific question to you, Sean.
Okay.
Do you do you have a soft toed boot, and do you set the glass on your soft toe boot and curl up your toes
I do have a soft toe
and then
boot.
set the glass on the tip of your boot and then
I,
set it into place?
I do have soft toe boots. I do set them across my feet, but I don't curl up my toes.
You just set them right down on your toes.
Just go right on my toe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say the most comfortable boots, the best, it was still when I was working real construction on, in ditches and running proper job site. The best boots I ever had were Double H Western work boots. There's a brand called Double H, and I still have two pairs. One is a steel toe, and one is just a regular round toe, but with a proper Western heel. And they're both they're both older than Brody.
Wow.
And those were the best boots, but I can't find them now. The leather is starting to crack on them because I put them away and I didn't treat them, and so when I broke them back out, the leather broke. So,
Hmm.
but now I can't find them anymore. Double H is still out there, but not they don't have the boots. So I'm on a never-ending quest to find the right boots. And
I like it.
these Tacovas are doing pretty good. They're pretty close. So
Nice.
I just was curious. That's one of the I'm a big crybaby about my feet. My feet were hurting. I don't know if it's like a Filipino gout thing or what, but or if I just need good boots. So I've been wanting to ask you guys that for a long time.
Well, you're on your feet when you're on your feet so much. I mean,
Yeah.
that's when your feet start getting jacked up, then your back starts hurting.
Mhm.
Pretty common, and
Yep.
so it's a big deal. It messes up your whole day.
Yeah.
I'm with you on the get good
Messed up
boots
a lot
thing.
of days.
Yeah,
Oh, I have figured out that if I stretch my now I'm rambling, but like my back pain, I told you my back is not hurting as much, but it was my hips.
yeah.
Figuring out how to, and that's another discovery, like figuring out how to release and open up my hips, that has made a world of difference in my lower back pain that I've contended with for decades.
Yeah.
I figured that out too, and you don't think about stretching like your hip area and your glutes
Yeah.
and stuff. It's just I said to my cousin Bob, he's like, my back bothers me all the time, and I gave him 2 or 3 stretches to do. His back never bothered him again.
Hmm.
That's
And
incredible.
one of the things you're doing when you're getting stronger doing squats and stuff, because your hips are so engaged in it,
Uh-huh.
you got to loosen that stuff back up.
Yeah.
It's getting real strong, and
Yep.
if it draws in good and tight, man, it can cause you some pain. And same thing goes for your knees. A lot of times when your quads or your hamstrings get a little bit tight, it can cause you knee pain too. When I
Yeah.
was running a bunch, when I was training for the race in the Azores, like I like one knee started just bothering me like crazy, and went to a massage therapist. It was good to run the next day.
Really? Okay. I might have to look into that a little more because I keep on so I went up to Washington. I got the boys recruited me to come play a game up in Washington. There's a big tournament.
I
So
saw
I
him.
flew up there and I went and played in that one. But it beat me up. I think I played okay. But it beat me up for a long time. Then we played a big one down here. Brody's boyfriend is a team captain. So they're kind enough to throw me a bone and I get on the field there with all those kids. And I think I did okay again, but my knees are so beat up afterwards. And I don't even run. I just stay on the line. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to push people over. I'm pushing them. Actually,
You're putting people on their back, pancaking people.
that's my whole goal is I try and put as many of these kids on their shoulders as I can. I want them to go home and remember me, man.
Man, I have a book it's called The Supple Leopard, and it's about stretching and fixing these kind of things. It's a thick old book, but like it's like you flip in the back. All right, this is where I'm hurting. Flip in the book. All right, so this is what I need to do.
Really?
It's
Supple leopard.
The Supple Leopard, and it's by I want to say it's a doctor that wrote the book, but he's also like you can tell he kind of takes care of himself.
Yeah.
But it's just I bought the book. I have a hardback book. It's like big old thick book, but it's got like all these stretches, little exercises you can do to help with whatever issue you're having. And you just kind of go look up what the problem is, where you're having your problem, and then there'll be some questions, and you just do the thing.
I want that book.
All right, we're gonna post that book, and we'll talk soon. Okay. I gotta shut this down because we're an early workout family, and we have a 6 a.m. workout. So
all right,
gonna
keep it up. All right, you guys,
wind down. But
like to see one more before the year's over.
Let's do it. I want to do it. Let's do it. Let's put it on the calendar soon.
Let's run it back.
All right. All right, guys.
Have a good night.
All right, you too.